Just
we're streaming. I don't know if it's recording, but if it is, hi. We've been trying to figure this out. If you're here, then cool.
Oh yeah. Like,
we are streaming already.
let's see if it works.
We're trying to figure this out. This is what we've been doing for the last 40 minutes. So, if you're here, say hi.
Let's see if I say hi.
It says you are live. The internet can totally see you now.
Oh yeah, like.
Yeah? Oh wow. See, we're kind of new to this, so that's why we're figuring this out right now. I don't even know how to. Oh yeah. What's up, man? That's okay. Sorry guys, I was trying to figure this out for the past 40 minutes. Otherwise, I would have gone live earlier. I can't remember the last time we went live. I think it was like last year, right?
Yeah.
Like in October or something. But welcome.
No,
Or
no,
what?
There's one after because I had started.
If you guys watched us, during our last live stream, then, welcome back. I want to do these more often, and it's not gonna be me. I think if it's just me, then it's kind of boring. That's why she was gonna go somewhere, but I was like, no, stay, go ahead and go live with me. If the audio is fine, let me know. If it's not, also let me know. But yeah, we're trying to discover this, trying to get everything all fine-tuned. I don't have like the title correct or anything at all, so forgive me for all that stuff. Say hi to everybody. What's up? Michael. Hi, Michael. Hector. Colin. Eric. Victor. Patrick. AB positive. Willie. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Ooh, my cat's just licking himself. But yeah, there's no real reason to kind of go live today. I just wanted to go live, answer any questions or anything that you guys might have had on any of my videos, because I haven't been on YouTube I haven't been very attentive to my YouTube channel, so I kind of wanted to go live and address any questions that I might have missed that you guys might have had. I think YouTube, when it comes to the messaging system, like direct messages, it's not good. Yeah, so usually I reply faster when it comes to like Instagram or Facebook, for example. But I'm gonna start to divert my attention more onto YouTube because I kind of feel like I'm neglecting it. So if you guys have any questions at all, I'm just gonna go ahead and answer them. I know my friend Jason Vong, if you're watching, what's up? But he likes to have his like live streams all kind of organized. Maybe I'll get to that point. Right now it's just kind of flowy. It's just,
trying to figure out.
Yeah, we're just straight up trying to figure this out. I'm actually recording with my Sony a6500, and I have the Rode mic connected to it. But I guess what we figured out is that because my cord was too long, it wasn't working. So we tried a shorter cord, and then it started to work. So yeah, I can't even see my framing. Are we good?
Here.
Okay. Oh, question. Let's see. I've seen you use the 8200 in some of your videos. When do you choose to use the 8200 over the Flashpoint 600? That's a good question. Typically, I use the Flashpoint Evolve 200, which is the same thing as the Godox AD 200. Same thing, different brands. I'll use that whenever I need to be very portable, or if I know that I'm going to be shooting in like kind of like a big location and I need to just be very, very mobile. Then I'll go ahead and grab the 8200, the Evolve 200, and I'll use, more than likely, if I'm using the Evolve 200, then I'll be using a medium to small modifier. So I might use the 48-inch Octobox or the 38-inch Globe Pair Pop, because the reason why I would use a medium to small modifier is because you really want to focus that beam, because it's not as strong as an XPLOR 600, a Godox 8600. So that power is going to be, the more space that it needs to travel in a bigger modifier, it's going to kind of also kind of weaken it a little bit. So the 8200, I'll get my cat. This is my cat, Wells. He's like, what are you doing? But yeah, so the 8200 is going to be perfect. Yeah, I'm just going to stick to the Flashpoint Adorama names for now, just because that's what I'm more familiar with. So I would use the Evolve 200 when I need to be mobile. If I'm doing something local and I know that I'm not going to be moving as much, then I'll use the XPLOR 600.
Okay. Next one. are you going to do more budget reviews of Sony a6000 flashes and lenses?
Yes, I actually was gonna do a Sony a6000 video with the speedlight and an umbrella, and the 51.8. So very budget lighting and camera. But some stuff happened during the photo shoot where it kind of postponed it. So I needed to do that. I need to set up another shoot to do that because I do want to do, you know, some of those reviews, not reviews. I want to do some of those videos where I use kind of budget gear. So I've used the Sony a6000 with the 51.8 with an XPLOR 600 before. And I know some of you guys were like, well, the light's more expensive than the camera. So, you know, I want to use like a very budget light. So far I've done a my cat. I don't know what he wants. So far I've done a budget camera and lens with the expensive light, and then expensive camera and lens with a cheap light setup. So I need to do the opposite now. I need to do budget everything.
Budget everything. And AV positive bulldogs. Yes, I need that video. So the next question, do you use XPLOR in bright sun, question mark? Do you use when the sun is going down? Yeah, if I need the most power, like if I know that I'm going to be shooting in a bright condition, then I will use the XPLOR 600. That's where like portability is like not even like the main important thing there. Like the other day, I think it just 2 days ago, today's Tuesday? Yeah, on Sunday I did a photo shoot with my friends Roland and Eli, and we shot in a sunflower field. If you guys are following me on Instagram or on Facebook, you would have saw the photo. That was definitely a bright sunny day. Like there was clouds, but it was like the very very thin cloud. Like I don't know how to explain it. It was like it looked like a thin fog. So it was kind of cool. You can see it in the photo. You can see how it kind of was, kind of like not. It wasn't like. It's just like a thin layer.
Yeah, it wasn't like direct sunlight, but it was very much the intensity of a direct sun. So I had the Octabox. I didn't have any reason for the Octabox choice. My friend Eli, he uses the 48-inch Westcott Rapid Box XXL, and I didn't bring any equipment. I just brought my camera and trigger. So I used that modifier, but that's a good modifier to use. But ideally, I would have brought my 38-inch glow pair pop because, again, with the modifiers being a little bit smaller, it's gonna make use of the power more so than a bigger Octabox. My cat's just being weird. Sorry, guys. So yeah. So if I absolutely needed to do shoot in like bright sunlight, then I'll use the XPLOR 600 because of the power, and I'll use some medium to smallish kind of modifier.
Next question. Which picture profile do you use in Lightroom? For the A7R III.
I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see. Scroll up a little bit. Let me see. I use like the standard stuff there. Oh, I'm watching the flash. You guys might be able to see that. If you guys watch the flash, you're awesome. Let's see. I got Lightroom up here. And actually it's funny because today Lightroom was like, I made a post about Lightroom. I think that was today, or I think that was, if not today, then it was last night. But about how slow it's been acting up. And oh, a sneak peek. This is the photo that I plan on uploading tomorrow. But the picture profile is Adobe standard. I just used the regular one. I didn't really adjust anything up. So I'll just leave that up there. You guys can check that out.
Okay.
Or you know what? You guys can see it better like this.
And then you want me to go to the next question?
All right. Yeah. Next question. Wait, how long are we going live for? Just 9 minutes. Just 9 minutes? Okay, cool. I wanted to keep this like 30 minutes and shorter.
Do you want to keep it just oh, here, next question.
Next question. You read it. You read it.
Okay. Okay. If they're asking how long have we been together, if you don't mind to answer.
Well, I wanted to keep it more on the photography side of things, but we've been together 11 years. What's today, the 23rd?
23rd.
11 years, 7 days, 4 hours, 29 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
11 years.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Wait, it looks a little bit funny in the color. So I'm just going to revert that. Next question?
Can you do a a basic tutorial on how to use and set up the 8200.
Yeah, I actually did want to do that this past week, but I need to set up photo shoots for that because I kind of want to keep them educational and stuff, and I also need help as well. So usually Ashley, some people have asked me before, why don't I just take pictures of Ashley? But I usually shoot with her being the assistant. So, I mean, I guess if she wants to be the model, then she can be the model. And I'll just use what the heck? I'll just use my C-stand with my weights bag, which is somewhere over here. But yeah.
Is that a Sony?
Oh my gosh, a cat.
Okay. How do you set white balance, automatic or manually?
I use auto white balance. Let me address some of the main questions I hear. I use my Sony a7R III a majority of the time because I love the file sizes on there. If you're wondering why I'm not using the a7 III, I am using it, but I just prefer the file sizes of the a7R. Serious. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, Omar said hi.
Oh, hey Omar. I use the 85G Master a majority of the time. I do have the cheaper 85, but that one's, I just love the more shallow depth of field of the 85G Master. And I use the XPLOR 600 the majority of the time. Otherwise, I'll be using something else for more portability, like the Evolve 200.
All right.
I think that's the main questions. And I use, what the heck? I use the 5-foot octobox preferably, but I will use the 38-inch. He's gonna jump on the TV?
Yes.
Don't do it?
Okay, there.
Okay, he jumped off. All right, next questions.
Do you ever hold any workshops?
I've only done a small bit. I was gonna say small handful of ones. I did one in New York for Photo Plus this past October. I did one in California this past.
California.
Well, the point is I've done a couple, but I want to do more. I do want to travel locally to Texas, like in Austin, Houston, Dallas. Yeah, but I've done a small couple of ones, but I want to do more. I definitely do want to do a lot more. And for me personally, I do want to keep the workshops to like max amount of people. What's it called? The max limit of people.
The cap.
The cap. I want it to be just like 10 people because I want it to keep it very personal. I want you guys to learn and give you guys like a good amount of
like one-to-one.
Yeah, one-to-one. What's it called? Attention. Yeah. Yeah, I want you guys to learn. So like I did a recent workshop in Vegas for WPPI.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my workshop had about like 10 people.
15. It was 15, but 10 had showed.
Yeah, something like that. But it was like the perfect number. I got to speak to everybody there, make sure that I got really good shots, and
got to see everyone's shots.
Yeah, everybody's shots, and everybody was doing a good job. If you guys went to the workshop, you guys did awesome, and you already know that. So.
And then next one, have you thought about? Okay, no. Oh, have you thought about doing workshops in other countries? Ooh.
Oh wow.
I'm from Guatemala.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Is the cat a Sony cat? No. He's
a Bengal.
He's a Bengal cat.
Darwin, I think that's how you say
Darwin?
your name.
Okay.
He wants to buy a strobe. What's the best one in your opinion under $1,000?
Oh, the XPLOR 600. Like I know that the XPLOR 600 Pro came out, but still, like in my mind, the XPLOR 600 is like the best strobe out there. Like easily, it's easily the best strobe out there in my opinion. Of course, the thing that I'm not kind of factoring into this whole opinion of the strobe that I think is the best one out there, is the color accuracy. It's not to say that the XPLOR 600 has a really bad color accuracy. It doesn't. But if color accuracy is something that you're strongly considering, and if it's something that of the utmost importance, then you would want something like the 8600 Pro, or the higher end models like the Broncolor series lights. But the XPLOR 600 manual version is like the best one out there. It has high speed sync. It has the difference between the XPLOR 600 manual and TTL is just that one has TTL. But the XPLOR 600 manual version's best strobe ever. It's the best strobe, and it costs about $550 with a free transmitter as well.
Do you prefer flash photography over natural light photography?
Easily, yes. Yeah, like I do like natural light, but like if it's in a situation where you don't have a lot of control, then I will easily prefer a strobe. A strobe. Like for example, like a nice overcast day, it's really nice, but I like a lot more contrast. So unless you're in a situation where there's contrast being created, like let's say for example you're like in a dark alleyway or something, and then there's light coming in through the side, that's going to be a nice situation to be in, because if it's a diffused cloudy day and for some reason light's coming through one direction, then it's going to be nice and you're going to have nice shadows. I'm a fan of shadows and depth, so that's why I love flash, because I can create that depth really easily no matter what kind of lighting condition I'm in. So that's typically why I shoot with flash.
Noe Hernandez.
Noe.
Hernandez, I'm sorry.
Hey Noe.
He said, hi Francisco from Waco, Texas.
There's a question there.
Just a shout out, I guess. If you're starting out with off-camera flash, which speed light and modifiers would you suggest?
I have a video on that. You guys want to check it out? It's in my video section. I don't know where that would be. But I answer that question. I recommend a manual speed light with a cheap kind of stand with an attachment to connect the light to the stand. And that attachment, that Godox S-type bracket, will allow you to connect umbrellas or Bowens mount modifiers on there. And the speed light itself costs $65. The transmitter costs $50. And yeah, but everything that I recommend for people who are just starting out with off-camera flash is in that video. So the thumbnail is a girl in a red dress, and she's either like this or something. So check that video out.
All right, next one. Ever thought about going vegan? No.
Vegan?
No, we like.
Oh man.
Next one.
Yeah.
Do you have the twin head for the Evolve 200? And if so, how do you decide to use one or two lights? He's right there.
No, I have the Evolve 200. Okay. You know, I have like all my lighting stuff in here. So if you guys are wondering about anything, I could like probably just grab it. But yeah, you're there. You have to get up. Look, I have it here. So I actually can get it. There you go. Right here. Boom. This guy right here. I'll more than likely bring this when I'm traveling, because for one, it's a good video light. Let me see. Because it has the ability to change the LED to like 6 different levels. Each side has a level. Like if you have one connected, then you have 3 levels. If you have 2 connected, then 3 more levels. But I love this thing. What?
He's chasing that.
Oh, well, yeah, but I love this thing. I'll typically bring it when I know that I need portability, but also might need a little bit more power, just a little bit more power, which you get to double the power with the Evolve twin head adapter. But this is a perfect situation to bring, because I can bring two of the Evolves in case I want a 2 light setup, or if the sun is really nice that day and I just need a stronger 1 light, then I can combine them both. So, and it doesn't take that much space either. Like I have the XPLOR 600 there. Do you get it? See, I have the XPLOR 600, and they look to be the same size, but this can be divided into like different parts. This one can't. This one's just bulky to begin with. So this is a good light. It's stronger, but this one has more options, in other words. So this is a good thing for traveling. If I don't intend to travel, then I'll typically just use the XPLOR 600 because it has more power. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Next question. When you update the MC11, does the lens need to be updated as well, or does the MC11 have that?
I think the MC11 and the lenses, like if you're using the Sigma art lenses, like the Canon mount Sigma art lenses, I think you need to get a dock for that and calibrate it. But for my specific cases, I've never had to update anything. Like I've updated the adapter, the MC11 adapter, but I've never had to kind of calibrate the Sigma art lenses. But it's a different, it goes by case. For me specifically, I've had the Sigma art 35, 50, 85, and 135, and I've never had to calibrate any of them. And I need to fact check this, but supposedly when you use the mirrorless cameras, you won't need to calibrate the lenses. Just update the adapter. But if I'm wrong, definitely correct me.
On the double...
The Evolve 200 adapter.
Someone's asking if you've ever just used one.
One? Yeah, you actually can use one. Like, you don't have to use both. So for example, if you only have one Evolve 200 and you plan to get a second one, but you can't afford it yet, then you can definitely just use one. So let me just show you guys. Yeah, so both are connected right now, and I'll turn on the modeling lamp. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see, but both lights are on right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off one and just remove it.
Don't break it.
See, and then the other one just works fine by itself. So you can still use the modeling lamp on it. Let's see. Whoop. Oh, here. See, it has 3 levels. Off, 1, 2, 3, off. Sure. But yeah, you can use just the twin head adapter with just one. So that's good in case you want, a little bit more power and you want 2 lights. Okay.
Hi, Fernando from Guatemala.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Ashley answer the questions now, see if she remembers anything.
No. I'm gonna ask you a nursing question.
No.
When you use a fill flash in the background, do you keep it at the same setting as the main strobe?
That's a good question.
And then how do you determine the setting? I saw you use it in your ambient light video.
Ambient light video. Wow. Oh, that's the one from...
That was Fernando. That
was the one with the girl with the reddish hair and outfit makeup, where I talk about like increasing the amount of ambient light. For that specific video, which I regret not mentioning in that video, is that I had that rear light on TTL. So when I did the adjustments, it kept up with how I needed it to be at. But that's a good question, because if I'm using a 2-light setup, for example, I will typically, like specifically in a night scenario, I'll use the weaker light as a key light with the stronger light as the backlight. And the reason why I'm doing that is because at night, when I'm getting a lot of ambient light, that weaker light is going to be perfectly fine, if not more ideal, at the lowest power and being weaker as a key light. And that rear light would be too strong. So I'll have it away, because the distance is going to kind of weaken it. But in the daytime, if I'm using, it depends on the light sources that I'm using. If I'm using like an XPLOR 600 as a main, and XPLOR 600 as like a kicker light or a fill light, then it depends on several things, like how I want the mood to be. If I want it to be very, very much a lot of depth, and it's a very sunny day, then I'll have them both pretty much on strong power outputs. That's not a question that I can answer like with one thing. So if you have any specific questions that you guys think that aren't something that I can answer right away, you guys can easily ask me questions on my Instagram and my Facebook. I do reply to messages like all the time. So if you guys have any questions you might be wondering about, then you can definitely message me on both my Instagram and my Facebook. I don't reply as fast as I want to on YouTube yet. So,
if it wasn't portrait photography, what other field would you choose to practice? What's your specialty?
See, the thing is, I started portrait photography, and then I started to realize I love it. I love talking to people and capturing them, because it's kind of a great challenge. If I wasn't doing portrait photography, I don't know if this is the same thing or not. Like, if you consider it the same thing, I would definitely be doing weddings, because I love, like, I've always worked well under pressure. And when it comes to weddings, you're very much on a time crunch and you're under pressure a lot. So I feed off of the adrenaline. I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to do this, I need to do this. Then I'll do it and I'll knock it out. And then, yeah, I really enjoy it. Oh.
Thank you, Van.
For being a good motivator. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, I probably would do wedding photography. And if wedding photography is the same thing as portrait photography to you, then I would probably do macro. I think I would do macro photography, because if you know macro photography, you have like very little in focus. It means you have a lot of bokeh. You have shadow depth of field. So, but yeah, thanks again to Van for the donation, the $5 donation.
How do you determine where to place the light and how far from the subject to put it?
Okay, that's another good question. So typically I'll have the light as close as possible, like as close as possible, because when you have a big source of light really, really close, or even like a 38-inch glow parapop really close, you're gonna get soft light. So I love soft light, so I'll have it as close as possible. So that'll be like why I have the distance so close for my main light. And did you ask, wait, was that question asked about the kicker and the?
Oh yeah, you asked it, we answered it already?
Yeah, so the kicker light would kind of, it would vary on several different things. It's like the amount of ambient light is in the situation and how I want the light to look like how the shot to come out. But yeah, so yeah, the main light will be super close as possible for the softest light.
Izzy Medina is asking, ever use ring light? ? Would you recommend one?
Let's see, I don't know why I'm looking around like if I have one, but I actually do have a ring light, but I don't really use it because
you bought it in the beginning?
Not so much because of the beginning, but I bought it. It's kind of like a video kind of light. It's a constant light, and that's not going to be the best for power output, and plus it'll kind of hurt the eyes of the subject, and
if they're sensitive to light.
Sensitive to light, like Ashley. But typically I shoot outdoors and I don't have any ring lights outdoors at the moment. I might eventually get one. There's this one kind of foldable one where it's like a modifier that you can put connected to a Speedlight or a Evolve 200 and kind of use it as a portable modifier, ring light. And I don't know. I do have a constant ring light, but I don't really use it because I shoot on location.
It's mostly studio.
Yeah, it's if anything, it's studio.
Will you ever start a podcast about lighting or photography in general?
Yeah, I actually am very interested in doing a podcast, but the thing is I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable and familiar with the camera and talking to people. I'm a lot better than I was maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, but I'm still very much at a point where I want to get more familiar with like my conversation, my pacing, other things that I think definitely need improvement. And but I do like talking to people in general, but
yeah.
If I were to do a podcast, I would try to aim for them to be less than 30 minutes, but they would probably last like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because I just love talking about photography. I've lost my voice talking about photography many times in the past.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in doing that because, you know, I love talking about photography and a lot of people have different opinions on stuff. So I kind of want to learn these other opinions. So.
AB Positive Bulldogs, he mentions the newer ring light flash diffuser and that it's pretty cool and underrated.
I probably would need to check that out. The newer ring light diffuser is actually pretty cool. Yeah, I probably have. I've kind of stick to like the Flashpoint Godox lights specifically, just because of
They're the bomb.
Just because of the ecosystem that they provide. Like I can use several of the lights with just one transmitter. So typically when you add more transmitters and different kind of radio systems together that other lights use, it gets complicated. So.
Next question from Noe. He just got his A7 III. Any tips on how to set it up?
My friend Jason Vong actually just did a video on setting up the A7 III for, I think, various different things. So you might want to check his video out on that. It's a bit long, so but I do believe he kind of leaves like these little
like
the timestamps so you guys can see different things. So Jason Vong, you definitely want to check out his channel. He has a video on setting up the A7 III. I do want to make one. I'll probably make the video of the A7R III and the A7 III together in the same video on how to set it up for portrait photography specifically, not video or anything else. And I probably would keep it just short and to the point.
Yeah.
But
or you can message.
You can message me or message Jason Vong. No, actually, Jason's very busy.
Yeah, I'm
so,
just kidding.
Yeah, but he's still.
You should try.
Yeah, you can try. You can try.
Tell him that Ashley said to try. Julio, is that a computer monitor behind you or a TV? It's a TV.
It's a TV.
From 2011.
Yeah.
Samsung.
I got lucky back in 2011, and I guess I got lucky and that I was cheap back then. But back in 2011, I was looking for monitors, and I was seeing that the larger monitors were expensive. And then I was like, you know, there's some TVs that can be connected to the computer. I wonder. It was $9.99. Why $9.99? Thank you, Noe, for the donation. $9.99. Who wants to top that?
And coming from, I guess, stemming off of that computer monitor or TV monitor.
Oh yeah.
They're asking, what computer would you recommend or laptop?
Oh wait. Let me quickly answer that. I was cheap and wanted to get a good big monitor, but I was seeing that the TVs were big and they can be connected to the computer. So I got a big TV that could get connected to the computer, and that's why I bought this one. And I got extremely lucky with this specific TV because I found out it has a good color accuracy. Like, it doesn't need to be calibrated. I've never ever calibrated this thing. I've never used any sort of calibration software, and the colors have been spot on. So I've been really lucky with that. But this TV is discontinued. It's the Samsung 40-inch TV from 2011. But I got really lucky with it. But there are some monitors that I do know that are going to be really good because my friend, who's a high-end retoucher, Pratik, he kind of gave me a good couple of monitors to recommend. And I think what he recommended was the Dell Ultra Sharp. He recommended that at one point, but then he switched it to monitors that already have like a good hardware calibration system. So you don't need to buy anything to have it calibrated already. And I want to say that's the BenQ monitors. Could be wrong, but if you guys are wondering about that, or whoever asked me about that, leave me a message and I'll make sure to give you the correct answer on that.
I guess stemming off of Noe's question about tips on the A7 III, someone's asking, do you know anyone who's gone from the A7R2 to the A7 III, and what have you heard? So well, they're not doing much high-res stuff anymore, so the A7 III is in his crosshairs.
Thank you, AB Positive Bulldogs, for the $10.07 donation.
Well, we'll save it in our piggy bank to go to California.
Yeah, what's up with these different kind of numbers here? Like $10.06.
I'm gonna donate.
But we actually do want to go back to California because we'll want to do a workshop and then also go to Disneyland. So, yeah, so that's cool.
Someone actually recommended a Mac for photo.
Oh wow!
Just kidding. Would you recommend?
Well, okay, somebody donated $20. Thank you.
Fernando.
Fernando. Starbucks on me. Thanks for answering my questions. Absolutely no problem. If you guys have any questions that you don't feel like I'm answering as good as I should be, definitely leave me a message because I seriously do my best to give you guys the absolute best answers to your questions whenever you message me. So yeah, I don't discriminate. Thank you guys for donating to, what is it, Van Liam. I'm going to answer your question right now. Van Liam, Noe Hernandez, AB Positive Bulldogs, and Fernando. Thank you guys for donating. Okay, let me get back to the question part.
Okay, yeah. So they were, if you knew anyone who'd gone from the A7 II to the A7 III.
The A7R2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I know people who've added it to their system because the A7R2, the file sizes are not the best for events. So I think they'll typically use that camera. From the people that I do remember that have the A7R2 and the A7 III, they got the A7 III for events specifically because it's a good, it's a perfect event camera in my opinion, because the battery life is longer and the file sizes are smaller. So I do know people who have both, but when it comes to switching entirely to one, I don't think I know anybody who's done that. But somebody else, before I forget, somebody asked me about what laptops I recommend. There's a lot of gaming laptops out there, and I actually just saw a video from a tech reviewer by the name of Austin Evans, who said,
"Hey guys, this is Austin."
Yeah, he does that. If you guys are familiar with him, if you're watching, Austin, what's up? But yeah, he had suggested in a video getting a used gaming laptop because that one's gonna be perfect for a whole bunch of different things like editing, video editing, 4K video editing, and photo editing as well. So if I had to think of any recommendations, then I'd probably recommend a refurbished gaming laptop, because that'll be good. And although I really love my MacBook Pro from 2013, I think it is.
Yeah.
It works really well. I'd probably recommend like a PC or something. Like I know Dell has.
Someone recommended Alienware.
Yeah, Alienware is a good brand as well. So yeah,
Dell.
but I definitely need to read up on that and give you guys give you Van a better answer on that.
Hi, Luis Gabriel.
Hello.
Francisco. And then Mohammed, he said, if you could please share any tips for shooting with bare flash without any modifiers.
That is a good question. My very first YouTube video, I did a video on comparing different size octoboxes. And one tip I threw in there, which I think is a really good tip for anybody shooting bare, is if you're shooting with bare flash, try to add a bit of ambient light as well, because it'll kind of reduce the harshness of the harsh light by kind of tricking the viewer into seeing. You basically trick the viewer into seeing a less intense harsh light by adding more ambient light to fill in the shadows. So that's one thing I definitely would recommend, adding a bit of ambient light. But if you're in a situation where you don't want a lot of ambient light, if you're trying to like overpower the sun or anything, then I would have to recommend shooting wide, because there are some photographers out there who shoot wide with bare flash, and it looks good to the eye because you're seeing a nice, beautiful scene. But the light itself is going to be harsh. But when you shoot wide and the subject is kind of not as big as it would be if you're shooting like with a telephoto lens, then you kind of see you see them in a better shot. I'm not wording that well. You see, you don't focus on the harshness of the light. You kind of accept it as a nice lighting because of the scene as well. So I feel like I'm not explaining that clearly, but if you're shooting with harsh light, try to shoot a little bit wider than normal. Even if you have if you shoot with an 85 primarily, shoot with a 35 and see how that looks like with the harsh light.
Thank you, Charles.
Charles Gilmore. Thank you for the donation. No problem on answering the question. If anybody else has any questions, let me know. I didn't want to keep this only like 40 minutes.
We still have some questions.
Okay, we'll answer some questions.
And then Luis Gabriel did say, and you are right, you don't have to calibrate mirrorless.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So I wasn't sure about that, but I remember reading it somewhere, and the reason why it stuck is because I think I fact-checked it and checked that I was right.
Oh, Mohammed said he got it.
He got it?
So you're
Oh, okay, good. Sometimes my mind just, I think a little bit too fast.
Yeah, or you can message him and then he'll focus.
Yeah, my mind kind of just goes 2 steps forward and my mouth goes 1.
It says, how did you decide to use 1 or 2 of the Evolve 200 during a shoot? If it was sunny or not?
Yeah, if it's, even if I'm shooting on a very sunny day, if I don't need all the power, then I won't use both. I'll probably use 1. Or you know what, actually, I've done this before. So the Evolve 200 has 200 watts of power. 200. When you combine them both on full power, it's 400 watts. If I don't know, if I want faster recycle times, then I'll typically, let's say for example, I needed 1/8 power. If I put both of them on 1/16, that's 1/8. It becomes 1/8. So by doing that, by having them both on 1/16 rather than having just one on 1/8, I get faster recycle times compared to 1/8 and then 1/16. So
that's a lot of math. So
yeah, it kind of does sound confusing. It's a lot easier than what I'm explaining. But if fast recycle times are something that I need more than anything, then I'll probably use both and have them at lower outputs than using one with a higher output. And if I don't need a 2-light setup, then I'll probably just have them both together. Just I don't know, just
look pretty.
Just.
Joe said, shoot wide to crop out unnecessary lens flare. I don't know if that has to do with
shoot wide to crop out unnecessary lens flare.
What did that have to do with the bare using the 30mm?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm a little slow right now. Sorry about that.
You can explain. So you can
yeah, maybe if you message me, you can better explain.
How long have you been doing photography? That's from Julio.
Good question. I wanted to make a video dedicated just to that question because I typically give a couple of answers to that. I've actually, there's nothing in here, but I actually do have like a little pin board in my other room, my bedroom, of like photos that I've taken with disposable cameras from when I was a kid. Because I actually, when I was like 10, 11, 12, I used to buy a lot of disposable cameras and just take pictures with them and develop them. And I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure what sparked the interest.
We were in journalism class.
No. You were. This was before I knew you. This was like when I was little. You know, but I was very kind of like growing up. I was just kind of like not as open. I was very shy, and I think I want to say that translated into kind of wanting to take pictures to kind of do something other than playing video games, because I used to play video games a lot. So yeah. So wait. So then I started off with disposable cameras. Then I did stuff in high school. Then I had to go to college. Put it on hold for a little bit.
Burner.
Yeah, and then I did it a little bit more in 2011. But several answers.
And then you graduated, and then.
Yeah, when I graduated in 2014, I was able to focus more, and that's kind of where I typically say this is when I started. So 2014 is
your official.
Yeah, it's like my official answer, but I've been shooting for a little bit longer than that.
And Joe was saying, caught the tail end of the bear bulb. Sorry for my random response.
Oh.
Alright.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, and this is, can you show us the glow pair pop 31 by 31 portable softbox? I saw your Comic-Con video using it with the 8200 flash, and the results were awesome.
Oh,
did you feather the light while split lighting?
Yeah, I did.
Where's it at?
I think it's in the car.
You want me to get it?
Nah, it's okay. You saw the video. Like, yeah, you know how it looks like. But what's the question of that?
If you feather.
Oh, somebody said hi from the Philippines. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Shem.
If we can show it.
Oh, I can show it?
Did you feather the light? Let me bring it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a video on that because I do want to make a couple of videos like on different types of modifiers. So I'll go over it in that one. But typically, if I can, I will probably feather the light just because it's gonna leave less hot spots and it'll be very soft light. But the question was if I feathered it in that video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe I did feather it. I always tell Ashley to feather light away from
No, I don't see it.
It's not there?
Hold it.
Tell them the Sony camera died.
Oh, well, it's showing here. Okay. No, it's showing on OBS.
But it's not showing in the...
On the stream. Oh, yeah, no, it is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
If you guys can hear us, can you let us know?
It died. What are we using?
Wait. Okay. We're using the Sony a6500. Wait. I'll go to over here. Wow, that's embarrassing. Can you guys erase that from your minds? Dude, that's why I wanted to use the A7 III or the A7R III, but we got it working. Somebody donated $4.99 was to bring up the.
Is that for a battery?
Yeah, to bring the live stream back up. But okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you for sticking with us.
For Julio, thank you, Julio. Yeah, thank you guys for staying in the live stream.
And someone's like, "How do you know so much?"
Oh, how do I know so much? Actually,
staying up late.
You know, that's actually a question like I want to answer. I don't know if it was meant to be a joke, but a lot of research, a lot of days where I felt like quitting, and a lot of dedication. Like, because I know about lighting like the back of my hand. Back of my hand?
Yeah.
More than the back of my hand. I don't even know my back of my hand. I just know lighting because of researching in endless photography groups and everywhere. So, you know what? There's actually, to kind of give you guys a tip.
Oh, thank you, Darwin.
Oh, thank you, Darwin.
Darwin. That was him. That was me.
Samayoa.
And
thank
so
you.
I was like, not as embarrassing as a DJ speaker blowing out mid-wedding. Or mid
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would be... Wait, is this Joe Sauceda? If it's Joe Sauceda, hi.
Hey.
I'm just... Because I know names more than anything on Facebook. But, what's his name? Oh, there's a website by the name of Strobox. It's strobox.com. That website was really, really helpful to me when I was learning because that website is dedicated to showing photos and the lighting diagrams or behind the scenes photos of how those photos were taken. So you and all the XF data as well. So you guys can check that out if you guys are wanting to see more behind the scenes stuff.
Is this for another battery?
Thank you. Thank you for the donation for the battery.
We gotta
I had to run to get the battery right here and then connect it. I should have had this connected to like the wall.
Can your 8200 flash overpower the sun during the midday, or when is the best time to use this flash? Can you please share some tips?
Yeah, I do have.
This is from Venkat. I think that's it.
So there's a video that I want to make that'll kind of,
Oh no, it wasn't Joe Sauceda.
No? Oh, okay, sorry about that then. Joe S.
It was still high.
Yeah, but still high. But
Oh, what was the website again?
Strobox. That's
Strobe.
So
Box.
strobox.com. So basically like strobe, but without the E. Put ox. Strobox.com.
Okay.
But question. What was the question I was about to answer? Oh, there is a video that I want to make that's gonna be extremely helpful. I'm just trying to do my best to organize it and present it the best way I can so that you can learn throughout the entire video. Not have these little moments where I'm not really teaching anything. I want it to be
just like straight through unedited.
No. I want it to be a very, very informative video, and it's gonna go over basically a couple of different things on what light to use in different scenarios.
That's how you spell it, right? Strobox?
Yeah, Strobox, the way that you spelled it in the chat. Yeah. But if I were to use the Evolve 200, I would definitely want to use it in a very small modifier. The lowest I personally would go would be that 31 by 31 inch softbox, because I still want soft light, and I'd probably use it extremely close to the subject, maybe even in the frame. But yeah, as long as it's not like overlapping on the subject's face or anything, then I can edit it out. So I'll probably take 2 shots and have one shot extremely close, and then one shot without it, and then I'll just take off the background of the shot that's without it and put it onto the shot that has it in the frame. I do have a video on removing octoboxes from shots that have the light in the frame, so you guys can check that out. It's kind of an old video, and I do want to do an update version on that. Okay, we'll do like a lightning round. I'll go through the questions that I haven't answered yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to mention loving Pratik.
Nyack.
Nyack.
Pratik's legit.
Simpatico. What makes you special than other photographers?
Me? What makes me special?
He takes this time to talk to you.
Yeah, if anything,
a lot of time.
Because she's joking, because she knows that I dedicate a lot of time to my social media.
Yeah.
I guess that's I guess that's the main thing there. I try to dedicate a lot of time to talking to people on social media. Like right now, for example, I know that on Facebook I have like maybe 8 messages that I still need to reply to from today, and then on Instagram I need to reply to something like 12 messages when like I have 3 requests. So I'm gonna go through those right now after we finish this live stream. So if you guys message me and you're wondering why is he not replying, I'm gonna go through them after we finish this live stream.
Would you recommend a Mac for photo editing regarding color accuracy?
Color accuracy. I think with any sort of anything, like a MacBook or PC,
Someone said that you had a good personality.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know why you did. Oh, you have good. You interrupted me. But I think for anything that you have out there, you can calibrate it with some sort of software or like products like the Spider Pro. So I think I would focus less on the color accuracy and more on the other specs, like how much RAM or how much SSD on it. So you can focus on that, so it could better help you with editing or whatever. Yeah, focus on other things, and then you can buy something $100 product to fix the color if it's not accurate.
So Charles Gilmore, he is saying that we mentioned earlier that the Explorer is more powerful than the 8200 with the dual head.
Yep.
And so he's wondering how much more powerful is
it? It's not that much powerful. Like, I kind of want to I rephrase that because it makes it sound like why would you get the Explorer 600? But for example, the Explorer 600 is 600 watts of power. The Evolve 200s together is 400 watts of power. And in your head, you can see, okay, there's 200 watts there. But when it comes to actually putting that 200 watts to use with photography, it could be the difference of maybe a step or half a step of getting the light closer or further away. So you just have more leeway with more power. But you can definitely do a lot with 400 watts of power. It's not to say that you need the Explorer 600, but for myself, I'll typically go for the stronger light so that I can use the stronger amount of light if I need to, or go weaker. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for example, like if you had the Explorer 600 like 5 feet away, and then you have the two Evolve 200s the same distance, it'll be like a little bit difference in the quality of light, so you might need to be a little bit closer. So you just have a little bit more leeway with more power. So that's why I'll go for the more power than anything. But I do have reasons for getting the Evolve 200s. I have a lot of different lights for different reasons that best fit the scenario or whenever I'm going to travel or anything.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Someone recognized the WPPI badge. There's the WPPI.
Oh yeah.
And then the CES.
Yeah, I have a Photo Plus right there, WPPI, and I did CES. I did want to attend NAB, but I will attend next year. But this year I couldn't. So.
Yeah. Jose Flores, he shoots with the Nikon.
Hey, Photo Me Ike.
Me Ike.
His name's Ike, I'm pretty sure.
Ike.
Yeah.
Have we met him?
Yeah, we met you briefly at WPPI, right? Confirm or deny. Wait, why did it sound like a computer right there? Just.
Mark's looking for a guy.
Oh no, the computer's.
That's fine.
If you guys can hear me and see me right now, let me know.
There you go.
It says the Livestream health is like bad.
Oh, there you go, it's good.
Okay, now it's good for once.
Right.
Okay.
So Jose Flores was saying that he shoots Nikon D7200.
Good camera.
He wish he could shoot with Sony because of the eye tracking.
I'm missing the question there, but I definitely recommend shooting Sony. That eye autofocus was the #1 reason why I switched to Sony. And then I discovered a whole bunch of other features that I really enjoyed. But yeah, that eye autofocus, jeez, man.
It is the bomb. I don't know how to take pictures, but it's the bomb.
Yeah, I really like it. I shoot wide open, so it makes sense for me to use it. So, but use whatever you feel comfortable with and enjoy.
And Jose, you and Manny Ortiz are the ones that made me shoot high-speed sync. How it looks.
I love high-speed sync, and Manny's a good photographer as well. So I'm glad that we could inspire you to use high-speed sync. I'm fumbling my words all over the place. Sorry, guys. But I love high-speed sync.
And this is a question from Mobile Man. We might have answered. I'm not sure. What do you think about Godak's V8 602?
That's the flashpoint equivalent is the flashpoint lithium-ion TTL.
Okay.
So, but that's an excellent light. Can you bring it right there?
Yeah, he said that they're starting out, and should he buy 2? This one?
Yeah, that one. I have all the lights just hanging around with me. You know what, I think.
Should he buy 2 of them or just one single 8200? What would you recommend?
That's a good question. You have the ability of having a 2-light setup with 2 lights, of course. If you do events, I would probably recommend 2 of the V8 62s, which is the flashpoint lithium-ion TTL, just because you can have more dynamic photos with those events. But for portraits, it depends if you're in a sunny location like Texas. It's extremely bright here. I would probably recommend the Evolve. I would recommend the Evolve 200 because of the more power that it has. It has 3 times the power of one Speedlight. So yeah, for events, I would probably recommend 2 Speedlights, the V862s. But for portraits, especially if you're shooting in a bright area, then I would recommend the Evolve 200. But if you're shooting in an area that's not so bright, let's say for example, was it the twilight area?
Oh God.
Where it's always cloudy and rainy.
Was it like Portland or something?
Something where it's always, let's say for example, you're shooting.
Washington.
Yeah.
Twilight.
Let's say for example, you're shooting in an area that's cloudy and you don't need the power of the Evolve 200, then getting 2 of the Speedlights, the V862s,
would be perfect.
It'd be perfect in my opinion because then you have more dynamic images with having a kicker light and a non-kicker light. The main light. Yeah, that's what I meant to. Yeah.
Noe, he has the 7-200 f4. Would you recommend?
70-200.
Yeah, that. Would you recommend to buy the 70-200 f 2.8?
That's a good question. If you shoot events and you don't have a camera that can push the ISO a little bit, then I would recommend the 2.8. But if you're using it for portraits outdoors or in like non-night situations, then f4 is gonna be perfect because the compression that you have at 200 and even the bokeh from 70 millimeters at f4 is gonna be pretty good. But
yeah,
pretty good. But I mean, wait. Yeah, for the most part, both lenses are gonna be very sharp and have very good lens qualities. So it just depends on if you need that 2.8 or not. And I would recommend that 2.8 if you're shooting events because let's say for example, you're shooting in a low light situation, that 2.8 is going to come in handy because it can make the difference between 2.8 to f4 is like, I think it's like 1 stop. Could be wrong. 2.8. I have like the f-stop chart in my head, but it can make the difference between having an ISO of like 3200 or the ISO of like 1000. So yeah, it depends on your camera situation and the event that you might be shooting, or if you're just shooting portraits. But I think the f4 is perfect.
How do you get your wife to help you with your photography dreams?
Well, it wasn't always like I don't know. Like we grew up together. Like we've been together since like high school. So
15.
Yeah.
What? Since we were 15?
Oh, I thought you were going to say 2015.
Oh, no.
No, but we just grew up with each other. We're very good friends, and she's legit.
I like to hang out with him.
She's legit.
He's my BFF.
Yeah, so she's legit. So.
And I like to travel.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Tag along.
You guys need to convince her to become a photographer so she can travel and do more gigs.
I'm working on it.
No, she's working on keto.
He just bought me the A7 III. So.
Yeah. Yeah. You should ask her what the exposure triangle is.
It's the triangle.
That what consists of?
The f-stop, the ISO, and then aperture is the same thing as f-stop. And the what is it?
The speed.
The speed.
The shutter speed.
There you go.
Yeah, so she knows a little bit just from hearing me talk. But yeah.
Okay, next one. So Fernando wants to buy the Flashpoint 600. Do you see a need for the TTL?
Wait, hey Chris, just saw that you just tuned in. What was that?
Hey Chris.
What was it?
He wants to buy the Flashpoint 600.
Okay.
He wants to see if there's a need for the TTL.
It
is almost $200.
Yeah, more. I would say just skip on TTL. That's basically auto mode, and I would only recommend it if you shoot like a bajillion weddings a year, because that auto mode will come in handy if, for example, that it's in a fast-paced situation and you can't really think and adjust the power. You just need to shoot. TTL will be handy in that situation. But for the most part, I highly recommend shooting manual. So, yeah.
There we go. And then someone said V-mount batteries for the win. I guess when their stuff died.
Oh, V-mount battery. You know what? I'm actually going to get a light soon that needs V-mount batteries. So, yeah. I'll be familiar with those soon.
Do you ever do paid shoots? And if so, how do you market and get clients? That's from Chris.
I do a lot. I do. That sounds retarded. So I do paid shoots still, but I just don't put it out there as much because people, they tend to respect their privacy, and I don't want to put it out there and show it to people because I know that I have a bit of a following. So yeah, so I still do photo shoots, but the one thing that I did, and it might not be something that you might want to follow, but it helped me get more clients, is for my personal Facebook profile, I straight up just made it into like a photo account. Like I posted nothing. Like I posted nothing but photos from photo shoots I've done, and I've just talked about photography and just stuff that was actually like what I was feeling about photography. But I just made my profile more about that. And I think if I had to kind of give that as a certain tip of advice to anybody out there, it's just, if you have an Instagram account, for example, just make it about photography. Because I know some people tend to have mixed profiles where they put their personal stuff, post personal stuff, and then they post their, business stuff. I think it's good. Clashes, especially like politics and stuff. Yeah, so you just want it to be strictly about photography and talk about photography and the clients that you're having and the situations that you're experiencing, and just basically create a brand of photography and just stick to that.
They'll look at your profile and be like, that person I like.
Yeah, and then just share and share and share. People kind of got to know my Facebook and me in general with photography. So then they would reach out to me and ask me about different types of photography that I might be interested in doing, and then I said yes or no, and but the situation is going to vary depending on who you are and what you do. Yeah, so it's kind of,
and the people around you and the type of culture.
There's so many different things to take into consideration. So I wish I could give a better answer to that, but it's a lengthy answer, definitely a lengthier answer.
So Julio's asking, if you had one lens glued to your camera, which would it be?
85, 1.4. Doesn't need to be a specific type of lens. But if I'm shooting with the Sony, then I definitely want the Sony native lenses like the 85G Master. 85 1.4 is just so good. It's so perfect. I used to be in love with my Canon 135L2, f2, but yeah, I fell more in love with the 85 focal length. Okay, we're gonna end this live stream soon.
Yeah, we're almost done.
So I'm gonna go ahead and answer some of these last questions.
If we're coming to Austin, Texas, or Waco, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's Austin's not that far. It's a couple hours, like four maybe. Austin. Almost wait, 5? Yeah, it's not that far. So I definitely would be interested in going there one weekend and just doing a photo walk or something, or just taking in the scenery. Yeah. So.
Trevor, he says that autofocus is winning a lot of Canon users over to Sony.
Yes, like
it's like it's just a game changer.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It seriously is. Like, just to talk a quick second about autofocus. Like, I was having to focus and recompose with Canon because I was shooting with the Canon 60 that had only 11 focus points. So I could have used those focal points to to focus and not recompose, but it was just way easier. And I have the amount of photos that I take now that are not blurry on the eye is like very, very, very few. Like the ones that are blurry is very, 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 very few. When I shot with Canon, especially when I wasn't as well versed with focusing and recomposing, I took a lot of blurry shots. Like I can look through my computer and probably find those blurry shots that I forgot to delete or something.
I took blurry shots.
Yeah, but with autofocus, it's extremely easy. You just hold the button, take a picture. For some reason, Sony hasn't implemented that autofocus in the shutter button. So you have to hold the button and then take the picture with the shutter button. But yeah, $4.99. Thanks, Noe.
Dang, that's a sale. Thanks, Noe.
Was it $9.99 and $4.99?
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Noe.
Thank you. That'll be to our trip to Austin or Waco.
Yeah, we'll put that aside to the Austin. We'll hang out. Okay, quick.
What photographers do you look up to?
The photographers I look up to.
Your main three.
Main three, if I had to think, when it comes to overall just photography in general, you guys might be familiar with the photographer Joey L. He's like the photographer I looked up to since I started flash photography.
Bye, Noe.
Yeah, bye, Noe. But yeah, Joey L was like the #1 photographer. I think he actually shared some behind the scenes footage and, if not footage, then photos when I just started. And I think at the time that I was learning, which was 2011, I don't think anybody was really doing that. Like very, very few people were doing that. But Joey L seemed very cool, down to earth, and just very kind of wanting to share and talk about the craft. So I really looked up to Joey L. I actually met him this past October. I was freaking out, but I was like, I've been following you since I started.
Oh,
yeah, but it was so cool. So Joey L, Susan Bryce.
Sue Bryce.
Sue Bryce. I was like, what's it? Sue Bryce. She's not like up there with my tops, but when it comes to like just knowledge in general, I admire her personality and knowledge, and just I admire her as a photographer. But if it comes to like styles, Joey L.
He does incredible flash photography. Probably one of his favorite strobes.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stop with that with Joey L, because he's like the #1.
Sue Bryce is the bomb.
Yeah, and she loves Sue Bryce. Susan.
Do you use colored gels, CTO, with your Speedlights? That's a great way to overcome boring, cloudy skies, as it adds to the illusion.
I have gels. I actually. Can you get that right there?
It was from Brian. What's his name?
Huh?
Brian Troll.
Oh yeah, my friend Brian Troll. His last name is very misleading. He's a very nice guy. He's not a troll, but that is his last name. He actually sells these gels, but I honestly do need to get more familiar with them so I can creatively use them. But I was actually talking about the Magmod wallet there. But so yeah, I actually do have gels, but I'm still in the learning process of using them and figuring them out as best as I can. And then once I get more familiar with them, I am gonna make a video on it because I want to share with you guys. So yeah, I have them, but I don't really use them. I've only used them a small handful of times.
Someone said that they just bought the Magmod. Do you use any yourself? Will we be seeing any videos on them, especially CTO gels?
Yeah, actually, that's what I just showed. This is
Oh, there you go.
This is all the Magmod gels. It's the CTOs, the CTBs, and the creative kit right here. But yeah, like I said, I'm in the trial and error process of learning gels. So I want to get familiar with them and then share with you guys.
Do you play Fortnite?
No, I do not. I think I tried to play once on my phone, but it's jailbroken, so it kicked me out. So, okay.
So that's pretty much it.
I think that's it, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but I do want to do these things like at least once a week, just to say hi.
We have to remind him, because then he gets tired and.
Yeah. But thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said before, if you guys want to message me any questions on Facebook or Instagram, or yeah, those are like the two main ones, go ahead and do so. I'll reply as soon as I can. That's usually like a day or less than a day. But bye guys. Take care. And I'm probably saying that way too prematurely because I don't even know how to end this thing.
Wait.
Thank you for all the answers. No problem. What is it?
No problem.
Mobile ferns.
Okay.
Bye guys.
How do we stop
we'll
this?
buy while we figure this out. The next one will be more prepared. Trust me.
Okay.
I think you go to.
I'm here?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
Bye guys.
Start recording. Wait. Stop streaming. Okay, bye.
Stop, bye.